This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Eastern part of the South African landscape, and there's lots of promise in the air, from lions roaring to hyenas whooping. Hopefully we'll have some luck and find some of the epic animals that we get out here on this, your very own live African safari. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this, your sunrise safari here, from Djuma and Nkala, Pinda, and even Tswalu. There's tracks for a male leopard. So we're going to try and follow these. I'll get into that now. My name is Tristan. On camera, I've got Morgan, and we are coming to you live from the South African wilderness, and that means we want to hear from all of you. We would like to know whether or not you have any questions or if you have any comments. Remember, you can do that on #WildEarth at FC on the YouTube chat stream. You can use kids' questions at wildearth.tv for the kiddies, as well as any of the comment sections on the various other streams that we go to. Now, you'll notice the male leopard track walking straight down the road. You can see it very, very clearly. There's an elephant track, and then right next to the elephant track, there is little toes and paw print. Now, which leopard this is, I have not the foggiest. There are so many males moving around at the moment, I have no idea. Typically, this would be Mulawati's area, but we know yesterday we had tracks for what we thought was Tavangumi around where we are now, so it could be him. You never know if Tingana's walked here, so we'll have a little follow for a bit and see. They look like they're quite nice tracks, and that they are clean and crisp and clear. So I'll have a scratch around and see if we can pick this guy up. That'll be a wonderful start to our day. Nice. I don't know if anyone drove here yesterday. I didn't, but these tracks certainly look very good, and on top of everything. So we'll try and see if we can find it. Now, male leopard, just because of size, female leopard wouldn't have a footprint that big. This leopard is already cut off by the looks of things. No, there it is there. Still going. Nice on this particular road. The tracks are super, super pretty and clear and crisp. Looks like he went here. Rusty, behave yourself. Sorry, I'm just trying to see when we turned here. This is a big, big, big leopard, though. This is not play, this guy. It's not the same track I was following yesterday. I think this must be Mulawati that's back. It's also what looks like a track for a lion coming up the road too. But yeah, this is not a small leopard at all. Whoever this is has got a serious foot. Alright, so let's see how we go. If it's Mulawati, generally during the day is not easy for him. Every now and then you get it right and you can get a sighting of him, but for the most part, he's not a cat that we get in daylight hours. But that's not to say we won't try. Hopefully, it's one of those days where he decides to be good to us and actually sit still, or somewhere where we can actually see him, because he's very good at walking on roads, hearing a vehicle coming, and then just turning slightly off the road into a thicket, waiting for you to go, and then comes back out again. So he's pretty adept at being fairly sneaky. Just want to check which way he goes here. Did anyone see a leopard on the dam cam last night? Because he might have gone that direction. It looks like he's headed towards the dam cam. No, he didn't actually. I take that back. Don't worry, everybody. He most definitely didn't. It looks like he's gone straight into the Mulawati here. Okay, so the dam cam is down at the moment. All right, no problem, but it doesn't look like he went that way anyway. I don't see his tracks here. I just want to quickly... I'm a bit hesitant to reverse too much because I don't want to squash anything. I'll try to reverse on the same way that we came. Just want to jump out here quickly. So we'll take you guys all along for the ride while we just check which way these tracks go. Also try not to catch myself on the millions of cables that we have attached to us these days. Just trying to check where his last track is. So he's walked here, then here, and now from there he went straight across over here, and then his track is there going into the bush, straight into the Mulawati. Now, interestingly enough, this section here is exactly where that drag mark went the other day, and we keep having hyenas. He's been in here twice, so what I'm going to do is just go around and try and see if I can pick him up in the drainage line, or his tracks in the drainage line, or on the other side. He might pop out. I actually think I might just go around and just check if he hasn't popped out on Kalahari cut line there. He might have just headed that way. It's kind of the way he likes to go. Unless he picked up the track for this other male, but it's definitely not the same male leopard that we followed yesterday. This is a much, much bigger track. Okay. Let us go round, I think. Maybe not. Actually, it's going to be quicker just to go this way. Alright, so I'm going to try and see if we can find him. In the meantime, though, have a look at what the weather's going to be doing for today. Seems like a perfect autumn day for us out here. Well, across most of our locations. Seems like it'll be a fairly nice day. Okay, so no track that I could find coming back onto Twin Dams Road. Just going to check in here quickly, and then we'll cut the Mulawati going that direction, sort of northwards, then check Kalahari cut line. I just want to check if he didn't cross. There's like a little crossing here through the riverbed. Just want to make sure he didn't come through there. It's quite close to where where we thought Kalamba last had the cub. Not that far. Aaron, I mean, it would be nice to see him, and I'm sure we will, but he went far west yesterday, way beyond where we'll be able to get any sort of signal. So he's not around, but a lot of you were asking, because I was saying to you that that Tingana was trailing him. But yeah, they didn't find them again after we lost them. They just found tracks for both of them going westwards. But they weren't close enough that they were actually interacting yet. They were just kind of, Tingana was just behind him, sort of slowly walking, not really doing too much. I think he was just more curious than anything else. I don't think it was going to be a big fight there. Maybe though, you never know. So I don't see any tracks here. I was wondering if maybe I'd pick his track up just crossing through this section. It's difficult here, you know, there's not a lot of soft sand, so I was trying to check that little down crossing point, because the last track comes straight into this little Tambuti thicket here. So what I'm going to do is just loop around now, and we'll just check Kalahari Cutline Central, see if he hasn't popped out there. He might have just gone straight out. In the meantime, though, let's send you across to Trish, so she can say good morning.
It's lovely to have you, as always. It's a stunning morning here in Djuma. At first, I thought it wasn't that cold, but in fact, it is a little bit chilly, but just perfect, I think. It's me, Trishala. I've got Gerrit on camera with me, and we have started our adventure. You've already started yours as well, here for your live safari. Now, we've just come from the den, where it's not active. and we're now on Philemon's cut line, and then we're going to take Zoe's from the south back up to the north, and we're going to see if we can pick up on anything. So that's the area we're going to cover this morning. Just take it easy, see what we find. I'd love to see some elephants. That would be a great start. But for now, some direction. I always like finding something to focus on. And in the morning, that's the best thing because everything's so fresh from the night before. Tristan's found those male leopard tracks to grab his attention. And it just makes things a little bit easier mentally when you're out here. 'Cause sometimes if we feel a little bit scattered looking at all kinds of things, which is also nice. But I like to have a solid running line beneath the scatteredness. So the hyenas, obviously not around. They were my solid line for this morning. Hello, impala. Let's have a look at you guys. I also like figuring out where the herds are, whether it's herds of impala, little herds of kudu, or nyala. I always like to know where they are, so as you're driving around, not just looking for tracks, also keeping an eye out for where all the antelope are. Oh, look how wide his horns are. Beautiful mature male there. So if I know where the antelope are as I'm tracking, if I hear alarm calls, I would roughly know where to go and look. So instead of just thinking, oh, the alarm call is off to the west, it's far, it's close, I can remember, oh, there were impala here, here, and here. And this herd was in the east where I heard the alarm calls from. So then I can follow like that. So it's just a matter of having a system and working logically and continuously collecting little bits of information that your brain can then use to try and figure out where the animal you're tracking is. They're walking off towards Treehouse Dam. I did check Treehouse Dam as well. And no activity there just yet. Alright, let's keep moving. I want to get to Zoe's because I want to see if there are tracks around. Usually, if you haven't been seeing tracks on a road that you usually do, like we haven't been seeing tracks on Zoe's for a little bit, then it's always good to constantly check it because it's bound to become active at some point. Okay, well, we're getting our groove on towards the west, and I'm going to send you over to Pisani in Pinda for him to say good morning.
Welcome to Pinda and beyond, everyone. Oh, wow, we've got a nice sunrise. Look at that. It's unbelievable. See that orange sunrise. It's nice and open around where we are. It's quite windy at the moment, and we have western side wind. which is quite chilly. So in this area, as you can see, there's a little bit of the open grassland around where we are. We're gonna try to find. Hi everyone, my name is Busane, and behind the camera we've got Owen. And in this area, the main aim for me to come to this area is to try find a different pride of lion than what we saw yesterday, if everyone was with us. And hopefully we do find as well a big male lion. That will be unbelievable. Wow. But because it's very, very cold, which means lions will be hiding. They will go into the nice gully or river bank to spend the day away from the wind. It will be quite tricky for us. I think we're gonna drive around and see if we can find some tracks of lions, but in the meantime we're gonna take you across to Steve. He's gonna do his intro in Pride Lands.
Good morning. Hello everybody. Welcome to the dawn here at Pridelands, where we are on foot as always. My name is Steve, joined by Glenn on camera. We had a lovely male giraffe over there who's moved out of frame. Of course he did, the last second, but I believe there are a couple more just over here. But we got off road, or should I say we got on foot, and we heard a monkey's alarm calling close to the dam. We followed up on his eyesight. We came up north, more monkeys alarming that side. So we're not sure. You can actually just see that giraffe there, Glenn. Egyptian geese flying over. So our objective this morning is just to do a little walk around, see what we can find. But when monkeys alarm call, we get very excited. But the two different alarm calls coming from quite a different area. So either it's two different predators, or the one that we saw or heard is moving very quickly. Lovely giraffe here on Pridelands. Here we go. Just through the gap there. Beautiful big boy. The front I was talking about yesterday has pulled in. Woke up this morning to very cloudy conditions. It's apparently 18 degrees, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. I can tell you it's a lot warmer than that. I bought a new sleeping bag for my up-and-coming trail, and I wanted to test it out last night, but it was so warm it's hard to actually ascertain whether it is going to be warm. Hello, big boy. Now he's looking a little jittery. Whether that's from us or from potentially a predator that's walked past is hard to tell at the moment. The giraffe, so far as I've seen here on Pride, is normally allow you to get reasonably close without them behaving too much. But maybe it's because we seem to be hidden behind the bushes there. Sometimes they feel like we're sneaking up on them in that regard. If you want to take a step forward here, Glenn, you get another view. Probably part of that bachelor herd we saw last night. Giraffe are very loose in their association. You find bulls together with cows, or bulls on their own, or a loose grouping. There's no real territory. They have a decent sized home range. And they are keeping to these sort of low-lying areas on Pridelands where we're finding lots of nutrient-rich knob thorns. Okay, we're going to try to follow up and see what it is that's been causing these monkeys to alarm. In the meantime, send you back over to Juma and Tristan.
Well, good luck, Steve. Hopefully you find what you're looking for. Quite possibly found the saddest thing that I've seen in a long time. And you can see there's a tortoise, so if you're sensitive, this tortoise is dead. It's a horrible sighting because I went to check out the tracks and I thought maybe ground hornbill, maybe hyenas have gotten hold of it and left it upside down, and that would find damage to it or at least alive. But that's not the case. The tracks around there is what's happened is, I don't know if you guys, some of you will remember, I had a herd of buffalo come through the Mulawati, not yesterday morning, the morning before, I think it was. These buffalo turned this tortoise upside down, and this poor tortoise is obviously baked and dehydrated in the sun over the course of the last 2 days and has died from it because it hasn't been able to right itself, and you can actually see in the soil there where all the hooves of the buffalo were around it and where this tortoise has obviously been struggling to try and right itself, and the whole shell has like scraped. You see on the right side of the shell, you can actually see where the shell was scraping and trying to kind of obviously right itself, and the shell was moving, and it's just sort of smoothed out the road there, and then all the tracks around it are for buffalo. So obviously this tortoise was coming to drink or had drunk and was trying to get away when the buffalo arrived, and maybe the buffalo, just curious, pushed at it or nudged at it and it flicked it onto its back, and from there it wasn't able to pivot itself right again. And then, like I say, I think between the effort and struggle as well as the sun and lack of ability to get to water, I think this poor tortoise has died, unfortunately. I went to go and see if we righted it, if maybe it would start to move again, or but there's absolutely no life whatsoever on that poor tortoise. It's a horrible little thing to see. I've never in my life actually seen buffalo flip a tortoise, but there's no other track there, and it's soft mud, so we would easily see a hyena track or a ground hornbill track or whatever it would be. They would have gone after it, but there's none of that. And so I think this poor little tortoise unfortunately succumbed to a buffalo, which is crazy to think. Shame, tortoise. It's not nice. Anyway, it will eventually get fed upon. Something like a hyena, or we'll find it once it starts to smell and it's already got a bit of an odor to it. So I'd imagine by after today with a bit of sunshine, we're going to see something come and grab this tonight. Hyenas really are the only ones that were able to break that down and actually eat it properly. I don't think you'll find anything kind of else now. And you can see that it's a female tortoise. If you see where the back legs are, so the right side of the tortoise shell, you notice there's a big V in the shell on the underneath side. So on the plastron, there's a V. Now that's females. They have that cut out in their plastron in order to allow egg laying. So that's to facilitate egg laying. When they lay eggs, they need a slightly bigger gap than what the males do. So the males don't have that V shape kind of cut out in their shell. Also, she's quite sort of flat on the bottom. A male would have a much more concave bottom to his shell. Shame, girl. Not nice. All right, well, let's leave it there. I followed some of those tracks and it led me to an old kill. It must be Tlalamba's kill from the other day that she dragged in. You could see where the bones and the fur and everything else, and there's still a piece hanging in the tree. But alas, no sign of anything, and I found a nyala in there. So he obviously just went to go and investigate it again, this male leopard, and then left it and carried on. So I'm just coming out the Mulawati on the other side now, just doing a quick scan just to see if I can't find his tracks somewhere this side. I suspect, just given his movement, that he would come out somewhere here, maybe the drainage line, giraffe dip. I saw tracks for a male leopard drinking there the other day, so if it's the same leopard, he might have gone there again. Once they know where there's water, they'll often go again to get it. You might notice a little cutting attachment there. They're busy with cutting fire breaks and all of those kinds of things. It's now starting to get to fire season. So these fire breaks need to be cut and cleared and made sure that they're not going to in any way cause fires to jump and to grow. You'll have noticed, maybe some of you that watch the dam cam, lots of smoke of late. Been burning fire breaks as well, so you either cut them like this or burn them. Okay, I'm just going to check here quickly, see if there's any sign of his track coming north up Gari Cutline. If there's nothing here, then we'll go down central and hopefully we'll pick up his tracks coming out somewhere there.
Do you dream of traveling to a far-flung wilderness location where life continues as normal? A place where you can escape to nature and breathe. If you become a Wild Earth explorer, then this could soon become a reality. Subscribe today and stand a chance to win regular travel prizes. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature.
So in 1998, we had this idea to go and put a live web camera on a waterhole somewhere in the Sabi Sands next to the Kruger National Park. And I approached just about every single landowner and everybody thought I was completely crazy until I met Yuri and Pippa Moorman.
We thought it was definitely a fun idea and a worthwhile thing to experiment.
And it immediately became a runaway success. And it gave people all around the world the opportunity to watch a little piece of Africa day and night. Back in 1998, it was the very early stages of the internet. And all we were able to do was to get a 30-second refreshing JPEG out of that camera. But over time, what we began to do is focus more and more on trying to develop this concept of giving people the opportunity to go on safari.
Even though we live just 500 meters up this hill, we still put the camera on to see what's happening.
Absolutely, we watch it ourselves.
I'm Nikki here at Ambion Ngala in South Africa. I love getting questions from viewers about all the small things within the environment and how it all is integrated with one another. If you want to ask me any questions, please simply register with the Wild Earth website, head across to the Live Safari page and then post your questions there. I'm looking forward to chatting to you on my next Wild Earth drive.
Guys, have a look at what we've got. This is better than my birthday. Look at that. This is the first time that I ever see cubs this small. This is so special. This has officially just become my best sighting of all times.
Tune into Wild Earth every single day. It's in your nature.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Ambion Ngala. So, as you can see right in front of us, we just came across this family unit. Some elephants just feeding right there. Oh, there it is, going straight into the thicket there. So good morning, everybody. My name is Trico, and behind the camera we have Craig with me. So the plan for this afternoon is basically was to head in the west and just to explore a different area of the reserve, and also looking out for, any interesting animals down there. As we're driving, we just come across this beautiful, incredible elephant here, just feeding away. And the one right in the middle, I think, is a young calf. And I mean, it's still nice and early, so they'll be moving around, feeding, looking for trees to feed on and some grass to feed on. And it starts to get a little bit warmer, maybe head for a drink, maybe also for a bit of wallow. But I think they possibly gonna keep on heading down into that section there. Just in front of them there's a drainage that runs west to east. I've just been watching this elephant where it's standing. It's actually standing on top of a termite mound. An old one though. And the termites that we have here are those fungus growing termites. And what they do, they collect all the dead plant material into the termite or into the mound. feed the fungus. And right inside there, because of all the dead plant material being put down there, that area is actually quite fertile. So a lot of palatable grass and trees grows in and around that area. So that's why the elephant is there and enjoying the nutritious leaves or trees that are there. But for now, as we're still enjoying these elephants, I'm going to send you over to another location.
Well, I'm still heading north in Zoe's, and I'm very surprised that I'm not seeing a single leopard track. It was such a frequently used road. But we're going to take it all the way to the top. Here's that four-way junction again, where it's always good to check out for tracks. Nothing. Well, after this, we're going to keep on moving west, so hopefully we'll pick up on something. But elephants would be great too, as I've said to you. Hi Savannah, you're 12 years old. Well, thank you so much for asking me that question. You'd like to know if I've ever been afraid on safari? Yes, I have been, especially when I just started and it was the first time that I'd been that close to lions and to elephants. So the first 6 months, Savannah, there were certain times when I was scared. I can tell you exactly which ones. Once, Savannah, I was charged by an elephant while I was still training. When we were looking at some hyenas, the elephant got irritated with the hyenas and just came running towards us. So I got a little bit scared. The other time was the first time I had the two Avoca males, the big lions. I had them walk past this side of the vehicle. So I had them around the vehicle and all of that, it was fine. But it was the first time that I had them walk past the open side of the vehicle. And I was a little bit scared. And there was another time when I was on Mendoza Road, which is just further west of us, and I found a herd of elephants. And they were really, really not happy. But I was not even close to them. They were in the block, I could see them. And they were really not happy. But they didn't charge me or anything like that. It was as if every single one of them were angry at me. That's what it felt like. And I felt a little bit scared. And it's important to feel that, because if you lose that feeling of being a little bit scared, then you can become complacent. And what that means is that you can start not to care about your safety. You can just take it for granted. So it's important to always have that bit in you that does not take for granted that you're going to be safe all the time. Everything actually is potentially dangerous, can potentially harm us. Every single thing out here, it just depends on the circumstance, and that's why our behavior is so important, how we behave with the animals. It's also very important, I think, and you realize it very quickly out here, is that you're not in control of anything. all you can do is be on your best behavior, whatever that is. If it's with elephants, make sure that you're paying attention. Make sure that you're not being complacent again. You're not taking for granted that you're going to be safe. Even if you're enjoying yourself and the herd is very relaxed and it makes you relaxed, you know that if something happens, what you're going to do, what your next action is going to be. But I really like that feeling of knowing that I'm actually not in control of anything that's happening out here. I like that feeling because, one, it reminds me to keep that little bit of fear in me and a survival instinct, not think that I'm, in control of this whole situation. And then also, it means that when animals do let you follow them, be close to them, walk past you, elephants come in and want to interact with you, they're doing it not because of anything you have to offer, not because you are in control of anything. No, they've just decided out of their own free will to give you that respect or interest. It's as if we're both being kind to each other, and I like that very much. I have no control, yet still the animals will be good to me. But that is a great question, Savannah, and I think that it's untrue and it's unsafe if people say that they've never been scared out here. They've never had a bit of fear, just a tiny little bit that kept your survival instinct going. Animals do we see close to into the camp? Let me first tell you what we saw this morning. A chewed up shoe at the camp entrance. We can't identify whose shoe it is. So far, Tristan, Gert, Morgan and I have seen the shoe. It doesn't belong to us. So I don't know whose shoe it is. That, Renata, is as a result of hyenas. No doubt. It's totally chewed up. So that's one animal we get in and around camp. Hyenas, we get leopards. There's been a number of times we'd be standing doing our checks or at the cars, at the garages, or down to the rooms, and then a leopard walks past. Shadulu's done that, Palambas have done that. Hello, little helmet strikes. Let's see if we can get you. I'm just gonna stay still and see if we're lucky. They look like they're in the big tree behind us at the moment, but let's try. Level. So yeah, we get leopards. Tinganas walked past my room before as well. Civet. There's one civet that seems to come quite often. We have a rock monitor that lives just behind our room. Elephants come through the camp quite often. And those are the ones that we see more often. Hello, crested barbet. But we've also had lions. We've had the Nkuhumas come through camp with the cubs following them, and the cubs are still quite small. We've had wild dogs through the camp too. But that's not typical. They don't usually walk through camps. The typical ones are hyenas, leopards, elephants, and a whole range of antelope. Mostly bushbuck and yala, though. Impala don't really come into the camp unless, they're pushed into camp by something chasing them. I can tell that there's a lot of bird life around, but everyone's settled on a tree now and you can hardly see them, and only when they all decide to move, like the helmet shrikes, they've all just moved off that tree. They move together in a flock. Oh, no, they're too far now. They're all the way at the end. I really like helmet shrikes. You know, the other night when we were first time our IR light wasn't working, it was like 2 nights ago, we saw those white-crested helmet shrikes sitting on a row, or sitting on a branch in a row, kind of like back to front. That was very sweet. It was around here too, so perhaps it's the same flock that's woken up and is now out and about. Okay, I'm just going to reverse for a moment. Just want to see something quickly. All right, while I do that, let me send you over to Tristan, see what he's up to this morning.
It's very cool when our leopards pay us a visit. The other day, we had finished dinner and we were both walking down to where we stay, and we kind of turn off the lights at where the cars park, we just, like, as we're about to turn off the lights, just see these tracks for Tlalamba coming through the camp. It's so epic when you see that they kind of that confident just to walk through, and that had happened obviously since we had finished drive and had dinner, that she had just kind of floated on through. Anyway, no sign of our male leopard coming out of the Mulawati. The problem is the last track I have is pointing in the direction of Tlalamba's, where we think the den still is. I mean, obviously we don't know 100%, and her movement is so erratic and so big at the moment that I'm a bit concerned actually as to where she is and what she's doing. Maybe she, like I say, yesterday I was saying maybe just this sheer pressure of all of these females around at the moment, she's just having to do so much scent marking just to try and kind of keep Kara and Inzutini and Shadulu and Tandi and Nsele, Sabui, all of them at bay, and Nsele, Sabui, all of them at bay, so she can at least raise this cub somewhat safely. But because the tracks go there, I can't, unfortunately, walk down the drainage. I'm trying to get on the radio now. There we go. Interesting. So I'll get Tanya and Mariebs, but going into Chitwa, but I don't know. I think that might be Kuchava and Cub that are going in that side, but we'll go and have a look. But anyway, so yeah, following those tracks for what I'm pretty certain is Mulawati is a no-go at the moment. I can't go walking through where the den is, because if there is a cub and he is there, obviously we don't want to have that situation at all. So yeah, we'll go and figure it out and see what we can find. But while we do that, so we're going to send you to another part of the very special country that we call home in South Africa.
Oh, I have found at the head of buffalo, while I'm searching for lions in this area, can just see them. They're still standing up. See, most of them are standing up and some are grazing. It might happen that, look at that one, she's busy doing chew the cud. So it might happen that they waked up not too long ago and they wanted to be away from the wind, from where they are. They're in a small ditch, trying to keep themselves warm. Then after this, they will start grazing along exactly where they are. As you can see, there's one or two that's busy grazing at the moment. So buffaloes are classified as the animal that's known as crepuscular, which is the animal that active early hours of the morning and late in the afternoon. You can just see the males and the female in the front of the head, busy leading. So the male and female that you'll find in the front of the head, they're known as pathfinders. So they know where there is a good grazing spot, and they know each and every water hole. Oh, they just disappear there in that small gully. Wow, it's really nice to see them. It seems like it's a nice, decent sized head. Although some of them, they have gone into that small ditch. There's one male. Matthew, always so lucky with this place. The landscape, look at that. It's really amazing. Wow, as far as you can see, it's nice open. So we had a runaway fire in this area. It used to be so dense, and the fire wiped all the trees off. That is why we've got a nice open grassland. You can just see there's some couple of birds that are flying around. So I think it was like a small flock of birds that were flying around. We do find a lot of red-billed quilliers in this area. Wow, that's really amazing. And where that, you see there's some yellow-looking trees just in front of those buffaloes. So those yellow-looking trees, they're quite close to the water hole. There's a water hole not too far from there. So perhaps later on, they will then go to the water hole and drink water. But at the meantime, we're gonna leave them and keep going. Laurie, buffaloes, they do give birth at any time of the year. Let's try to zoom it a little bit closer and see if we can find some little babies. There were some little babies earlier on, but then because the grass level is quite long, there's another one. You can just see it behind the mom there. There were some smaller ones earlier on, but with the grass level being very high, it's going to be very tough for us to see the little ones. But they don't have a set time of a year. If there is some nice green grass around where they are, they will have babies at any time of the year. There was one that was busy scratching itself there. Okay, I think from here we're gonna keep going. Try our best to find lions. Although it's quite windy, it is very tough for us to spot tracks on the road. But we're gonna try. At the meantime, we're gonna take you across to graze.
Right, now I just heard hyenas fighting. But these tracks here are quite possibly the most beautiful leopard tracks I've seen in a very long time. This is a track for Tandi that we've got here. You can even see the creases in her pad in this fine dirt. So you can see front foot here, which is the nice round one, like that. And then this is the oval back foot. Slightly overstepping, so she's moving, but nice, beautiful toes. Those 3 lobes at the back, smooth, shiny, fresh. The best kind of tracks that one could ever ask for. But these hyenas are making a noise here. I wonder... I think maybe because there's hyena tracks on the top, on the back of hers. She went and fetched Mariep's inside Torchwood, and then seems like she left him, or he didn't cross on the road with her. But the audio for these hyenas is close, so let's go and check. Maybe they stole a carcass from her. I don't know, but those tracks there, like I say, are quite possibly the most beautiful leopard tracks I've seen.
At times she left that young boy maybe.
There you go, you see, so she left him. I'm just listening because Finerty is also tracking.
People for 18 tracks, so halfway between Chidakat line and Staponas, I can see the because of that young McDonald of the time. The track there is straight west.
Yeah, copy, fan. I just got audio for Missy fighting just off of Drakensberg here. I'm just going to try to see if I can locate them. So we're just trying to see if, because maybe, just maybe, she's got a kill, and or she's made a kill, and hyenas are trying to steal it from her, or they've chased up a tree. You never know. They were somewhere here, the hyenas were making a noise. Just want to check where her track goes. Okay, so she keeps going down. I'm just going to keep up with her track and just see where it goes. Hopefully that will cut to wherever these hyenas are. I might just turn off and listen. Maybe we'll find her using our ears rather than our eyes in this one.
Founded in 1973, the Endangered Wildlife Trust has consistently and effectively worked towards achieving our conservation legacy. Contribute to this legacy by visiting EWT's Get Wild eShop and purchase products with a purpose.
The reason why we see that wildebeest by himself is because he's a male, or a bull, as we typically would call him. And what he does is that he marks and defends an area. Essentially, he is looking for the ultimate piece of land or prime property. Needs to have good grazing, needs to have a water source close by. And not too far away from here, there's a sickle bush thicket that would provide just enough shelter from the wind and the rain.
My name is Ross, and I'm a field guide at and beyond Pinder Private Game Reserve. I love getting questions from guests on Wild Earth because I love sharing and learning information about nature with new people, and it also makes me feel like you're all joining me in real life. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, go to our live safari page and submit your question below our live feed.
Look at this, the little one is up and about. Certainly hasn't had enough milk at this age. No amount of milk is enough. Oh, Corky. Too sweet. Oh, look at this. That is stunning.
Tune into Wild Earth every single day. It's in your nature.
Hi everyone, my name's Daniel Fisher and I'm going to be your guide this afternoon. What is my favorite animal and why? I think I'd have to say a lion. Being able to try and follow them and understand their movements and dynamics is super interesting. People often underestimate them and think that they sleep all the time, but once they get up and start moving around, they are fascinating to watch, and watching them interact with one another is a super highlight for me. If I can pass on this passion and this enthusiasm for lions and prides of lions into a guest that's sitting at home, that's what I'm really going for.
Well, we're just turning into the block now because the hyenas were calling just here somewhere, and her track goes straight in that direction. So I have a sneaky suspicion she killed something and the hyenas have robbed it from her. Now we just got to try and find where that is. Hopefully the hyenas will keep making a bit of a noise. I'll be able to find them. I'm just checking, there's a little mud wallow here that could very well be where it is, close to. And then if that's the case, it will be in good position because it's should be quite open around there and we could see quite easily. But there's definitely something going on here. Like I say, the track goes in, the cackling of hyenas, and then the whooping after that is a good indicator that something has happened. And normally when you hear the cackle, it's because they've found something that excites them. And that can be food related, it could be, obviously competition related as well. It can be fighting with other predators, other hyenas. But generally in this case, when a leopard track is close by, the normal kind of thing is that it's to do with the leopard and potentially a meal. Because like I say, that track is fresh. I think it's more to our right. I don't think it was this far. Luckily we do have another car that's helping us, so I'm hoping they'll pick something up. But this is the mud wallow system that I was talking about here. Just want to see if there's any signs of any movement. What have you got? Nothing for us here. So these little watery wallows here are a place that I've seen Thandi many times before. Always worth checking here. She can be around this area, but I think she's more back and to our right. Make sure in this mud that there's no track of her drinking. No, nothing there. Jerome, 100%. Hyenas are masters at following other predators, particularly wild dogs, but leopards too. Just in the hope that they'll hunt and they can then steal from them. You see it all the time with leopards and dogs, but dogs especially. They're very active behind wild dogs. It's just so thick in here from where that track went. Just trying to scan all these big trees in the hope that she got pushed up one of them and I can see her. Might be worth just turning off and listening and hearing if we can hear crunching or any sort of cackling again. Amazing how open this little section is, eh? It's all rhinos and buffalo and those kinds of things that have eaten here. But you can see how long the grass is once we get away from this little mud wallow system. It becomes very tricky. So I'm just going to try and go the line that I think those hyenas were making a noise at. You got the hyenas. Excellent. Well done. They're feeding as well. Well done. It looks like they're feeding. Wouldn't be surprised there's a leopard here somewhere. Jeez, that wasn't bad. My ears aren't all that bad. Right close to the mud wallow is where they're at. But there we are, leopard in a tree as well. Yes. The hyenas have unfortunately stolen the kill, but we'll go get the leopard in a tree so long. Yay. That's tracking with a vehicle 101, that, but not easy to do sometimes and doesn't always work. But there we go. Sorry, my girl, did you lose your kill? Oh no. Looks like Thandi. I'm pretty sure it's Thandi. Hello, my girl. Shame. Did your kill get taken? There we go. Unfortunately, the life of a leopard. Kills get stolen and they sit in the tree and watch as their kills are eaten. It's not very pleasant, but it happens. It's the way things go. This is not the first time for her, nor will it be the last time, I'm afraid. I don't know what it is that they're eating. We'll go to them just now. I just wanted to get her in case. I know her sometimes once the hyenas are feeding, because they just stole it. When you hear that noise is when they've just stolen it. Then you know straight away that, she could easily just kind of see them feeding and then decide, I'm done, and just come down and slink off. We know that she's left Marief's inside Torchwood, so it's very possible that she'll go kind of back that direction. So while she's just sitting there, now that we know where she is and she's napping, which is good, let's just quickly go see what these hyenas are eating. I also need to let the other guys know that I've found her, because they're obviously in the area. Finriti, come in. Fan, come in. I think whatever it is it's almost finished now. Don't think it was a big kill. We know with Thandi, she likes to kill smaller stuff. So she's like a duiker hunter for the most part.
Got anything there, Tristan?
Yeah, I've located Thandi. Her kill's just been stolen by hyenas. She's in the block between Batalia and Mamba. One station unlocked.
Well done.
Alright, so they're eating here. I can't see what it is.
Well done. I'm on Batalia Road, so I'm going to turn back again to come towards you.
Yeah, Fan, just come. You know that 2-track that goes to those mud wallows in the block? Just take that 2-track. You'll see me. We're not far from the mud wallow.
Okay, good. I know that place.
Copy. Yeah, she's still up the tree. Hyenas are just eating. So it doesn't look like a big carcass. It doesn't look like a big impala or anything like that. It looks like potentially maybe a duiker. That would be my guess. Hello, Ribbon. You guys have eaten yourselves stupid. Look at the size of their bellies. Just want to keep an eye on Thandi just to make sure she doesn't slink off behind us. There's really not a lot left there. I can't see in the grass what they're eating. I'm trying to have a little look quickly just to see. Oh, it's just, but it looks like an impala, a young impala by the looks of it. I mean, I can't see much. All I can see is a few legs and skin. But yeah, it looks like that's what they had. Well, this is the way life works. I mean, we were talking about hyenas following leopards, and here's a prime example of just how quickly hyenas can respond to a leopard killing. I'm pretty sure that this kill was made, maybe while we've been out on drive or just before drive started. That would be my guess. Natalie, no, this clan will hunt, and most clans do hunt. They're not only scavengers. It's a big misconception amongst hyenas. They definitely do not only scavenge. They're pretty good at hunting themselves. You can hear them crunching away. Like I say, it looks like an impala that they're busy feeding on, but I can't say for sure. It's too kind of deep in the grass to figure out what's going on and to know exactly what they're eating. But the fact that there's two big hyenas that have their own bits would tend to tell me it's an impala. That maybe Thandi just wasn't strong enough to hoist. Alright, so we can't really see much with these guys. Let's go back to old Thandi. As we know, I'm far more partial to our leopard. I just wanted to come and check if there's a lot of the carcass left, because sometimes what can happen is hyenas eat and they get full, and then they don't know what to do with themselves, and they kind of just sit there for a little bit, and then they move off, and she can steal some back, but there's not enough on this carcass for her to be able to get anything back and actually feed off it. I see she's yawning now, so she's going to come down shortly. So I'm going to stick with her because I know her. She's a cat that can disappear in 2 seconds without you even knowing that she decided to move off. So yeah, let's stay with her for now. So pretty though. Just try and get ourselves where we can get a nice clear view. So 50, I mean, leopard at the end of the rainbow, it would be nice if we had a rainbow. But certainly leopard at the end of some tracking is always a treat. And especially a leopard in a beautiful marula tree in the open like this. It's very special. You can see from the size of her stomach, if you look at her stomach, she's hardly eaten. So she didn't get any of this kill. I think she killed it. Maybe the noise of the kill that's attracted the hyenas in. And unfortunately for her, she's managed to then lose it to them. It's a constant struggle for our leopards in this area. They constantly have to deal with the hyenas, and the hyenas have to constantly deal with lions and leopards as well. So, it's a circular thing. It's not, a lot of people get upset with hyenas, but they're just doing what hyenas do. This is exactly why I didn't want... Just hold on, Morgan, let me move quickly. No, we're not going to have time. She's going to go right behind this bush, isn't she? Tandy, not your finest work. I'm going to go forward a bit just so we don't have this bush in our way. Let's see if we can do it before she comes down. There we go. It's going to be much nicer. That's not bad. Now let's see if the hyenas come running in. They might come running in. Sometimes when they hear the plunk in the grass, they come and check what's happening. If they're not too kind of consumed with their feeding. No, I think she's going to go back to Marips. I think she's had enough now. She'll just leave this and carry on and go and try and find something else. Shame, my girl. Sorry. But that's part and parcel out here. Like I say, it's not like she doesn't rob predators too. I've seen her steal from wild dogs before. So, it happens. All right, let's keep following her and see where she heads off. I'm sure she's going to slowly go back towards where Marips is. The tracks, the way she left them, was not far from where I first showed you those tracks. That's the last time they had tracks for him. Unfortunately, I don't think for us the signal will be very good there, but you never know. We'll try our best and maybe we'll get lucky and we'll be able to get a little reunion between mom and son. That will be nice. Nicanova, yeah, they will and do fight back for a stolen carcass. But in this case, Tandy's got no chance. She's got, 3 massive adult females there and 2 younger hyenas. So she's completely outnumbered and outsized. So she's not going to try and do anything to those hyenas. If it was maybe one young hyena on its own, she might. Big male leopard also might, but in this situation, no. She just really doesn't have the strength or the ability to take down those hyenas or fight them off of her kill. That's why she's leaving. If she thought she had a chance, she would have stayed in the tree and watched the hyenas for longer. But as soon as she knows she's got no chance like she does now, she's just happy to move off and go and fight another day. There's holes everywhere here. Let's try and go slowly through this section. Tandy, could we not have walked back towards the road, Michael, where it's easier? We're heading exactly the direction that we kind of first started with when we picked up the tracks. So we'll see. Pretty sure she's going back to Marips. Or just to find a more comfortable spot to hang out. Away from hyenas. Just continually going south now. John, she can. If an opportunity presents itself, there's no doubt that she will try potentially hunt again. So if something like an impala or a duiker runs out in front of her and she's got a good chance, 100%. She's not going to pass up opportunities. But the problem is, at this proximity, she kills anything, it's going to get stolen as well, unless she can get it up the tree. very, very quickly, then you'll find that she can keep it. But otherwise, it's just going to be a stolen kill again. What will be interesting is to maybe just circle back, if she does go into an area where we can't get signal back to Mariep's, is just to circle back here and see if maybe the noise has attracted that male leopard. It's not far from where we lost the male leopard tracks, and he would have definitely heard this commotion, and that can bring him in to come and investigate what's going on. Male leopards are far more inclined to go and try and scavenge than a female leopard, so I wouldn't be surprised if a male rocks up here. She's walking straight back. I always feel bad for them, but like I said, at the end of the day, a lot of people get upset with hyenas, but that's not the way. Hyenas are not doing it out of malicious intent. It's just natural, and like I say, all of these animals scavenge at some point. Lion, leopard, hyenas, even wild dogs to a degree will scavenge. So it's one of those things where it's just the way nature works and the way it goes. Can't be upset or hate hyenas because of it. Oh, she's already disappeared through here. Can you see her still moving? On behind the tree now. Okay. Patrick, 100%. Hyenas are serious. They're no joke. Incredibly well suited for long distance running. They are not animals that kind of can slack and sort of can be lost easily. They move just as quick and as efficiently as what wild dogs can, and sometimes even for longer periods. They're supremely fit, and it's because of their sloped back system. That sloped back and the way that they rock is perfect for an energy efficient running style, and therefore they're able to do much longer distances for longer periods. Oh, this area is horrendous. Yeah, she's gone. I've lost her now as well. I don't know where she went. The last time I saw her, well, Morgan saw her, she was walking there, but she should come out in front here somewhere. I'll try to get through this horrible section here. The grass is so long as well, and she's kind of right in front of us, we're going to struggle. The good news is that we know which direction she's heading, so it's just a matter of just kind of checking carefully. You can hear a few birds alarm calling, so she should kind of come out somewhere here. See her though. I mean, in this grass, if she lies down, we're gonna have no idea. I don't think she'll lie down. Like I said, I'm pretty sure she's gonna keep moving towards where Mariep's is. Nice to get a herd of buffalo through this section. That'll certainly help. Honestly, Tundi, just trying to see if I can spot her kind of moving through. Alright, I'm going to try and see if I can relocate her. I mean, it's obviously going to be a bit tricky, but we'll try to see if we can find her in this mess.
Nestled on the banks of one of the largest lakes in the Sabi Sands lies an award-winning game lodge called Tswalu. Many of you will have been on safari here virtually with Wild Earth, but now we are offering you the chance to see it for yourself in person. Sign up to be a Wild Earth Explorer before the end of April, and you and a friend could win 3 nights to this luxury lodge. In addition to the unforgettable safaris, you can unwind on the deck, relax in the pool, and even savor the various bush dining experiences. Chitwa's holistic approach to hospitality, with specific emphasis on conservation, will leave you with the very best memories of the African wild. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature. For many years, Wild Earth has taken viewers from around the world to the Mara Triangle, a place of majestic beauty and abundant wildlife. But it wasn't always like this. Before 2001, it was infested with poachers. Illegal harvesting and hunting was rife. Now the situation couldn't be more different. The hard work and dedication of the Mara Conservancy has revolutionized this magical land. But now, the loss of revenue from tourism has created a grave crisis. The Mara Conservancy needs help if they are to continue protecting the reserve and supporting the local communities whose livelihood depend on its survival.
I love being a cam up for Wild Earth. The animals coming right up close to you, especially like lions. Sometimes you get nervous, but you have to go with the flow. My favorite animal to film is the elephant because of how big it is. But when it's really up close to you, it's one animal that you would say, I really respect you.
Well, we've lost Tandy. I don't know where she's gone. She's given us the slip. Being live, trying to drive and see a leopard is, in this block, almost impossible. So we're trying our very best, but it's, like I say, not easy at all. The last time we saw her is just to my right-hand side here. I mean, she could have laid down, but like I say, this grass is so long, I can't see her at all if she lies down. But we've done a loop around again. Just don't know how she could have moved that fast for us to have not seen her, unless she just went straight out the back and by the time we got here she was gone. But the last time Morgan saw her was just here to my right, kind of ghosting through this long nonsense that we have here. So yeah, I have no idea. She could be anywhere here. Just turning off for a second just to listen if I can hear a squirrel or a bird or... But there's nothing here. Quiet. Alright, let's keep trying and see. I don't know, she may have laid down here. I just can't see her. I mean, I don't know if I can get into that gap even. It's going to be one of those situations. I actually think the best course of action here might just be to head towards the road and just wait for her. We know roughly the direction she's heading. I mean, maybe she pops out, maybe she doesn't. But trying to off-road through here and, you know, I mean, we can see the grass in places is taller than I am when I'm sitting in this car. So the chances of actually spotting her are quite slim. She must be out by now. She can't still be in here. Renata, so he could be. I mean, you know, I know he's caught a dwarf mongoose, and I've seen him attempting to go after impalas. I mean, we don't know for sure if he's actually caught impalas or if in any way, shape or form he's been successful in his hunting escapades. But the idea is that he is starting to at least take interest in hunting. So yeah, I suppose I hate this block with a passion. I really, really dislike trying to drive through here. I'm going to just go back to the road and hope for the best. It's really not possible to negotiate this while talking. All I'm going to do is end up damaging this car badly. It's not easy to concentrate on driving, looking for a leopard and talking at the same time. So I think I'm just going to try and get out of here, get to a road where it's a lot better and more comfortable for all of us. And we'll try and see if we can find her coming out. Trying to actually just see if I can find a path through this nonsense. You're asking how leopards sharpen their claws. Same as cats do. They use a tree. So they just get up against a tree. This is just impossible through here. I just can't see. That's the problem. The grass is just way too long, and I can't see what's in it. No ways through here. But yeah, they use trees and they just sharpen their claws on the trees. Through the worst of it now. If I go to the right here, we should join back up with that path that I used to come in. I'm telling you, you'll probably be in Torchwood by now. Alright, I'm going to try and just get out of this mess that we're in. In the meantime, let's send you across to Pinder.
We're still driving around in this area and trying to find a pride of lion. It has been a quiet morning because of the wind, and it's very cold. So our lions, they don't really like the cold weather. They'll go into the nice cover away from the wind. And we haven't seen any tracks for now. But we're gonna try to drive around. In the area that you can see, that's where we have to cover. Our border is just before that mountain range that you'll see. But it is a very big area to do a search. but we're gonna try drive around at the meantime. So in front of us, there's a nice gully where you'll expect the lions to be and hide away from the wind. As you can see, the wall of tree in front of us. And while I'm driving, I'm also searching for tracks. Because as soon as we've got tracks, then we've got something to work with. But beside that, it is very tough. It's nice and thick in here. But unfortunately, there's no tracks for now. Gonna keep trying. Always saying that there's nothing impossible if you're really looking. Jerome, as I said, that it's quite, it is a good question. As I said, that it is quite windy and it's very cold. So insects as well, they also go hiding away. But if we do spot the insect, we'll definitely stop and have a look. It's not because we're chasing the big five. We don't really chase the big animals. The small creatures are also nice to see. You're definitely right, Elizabeth. It's a nice landscape, and we've been going through the tunnel ditch, and now it's opening up a lot, which is quite nice. I'm gonna quickly show you this tree here on my right hand side. So have a look. It's got, I don't know if we can zoom that far. It's got very sharp thorn and a hooked thorn. So it's known as a buffalo thorn tree or Ziziphus macronata. It's one of the special tree in our culture. So if a member of your family died, we cut the branch of this tree, and we've got to believe that whoever is passed away, with talking with this tree, we can bring his spirit back home. It is a nice tree to see. So it is quite common around where we are at the moment. So we're gonna keep driving. Obviously, Jerome, if we see some insect, I will definitely stop and have a look. But at the moment, it is very quiet. But it's one of those days. Sometimes there will be animals everywhere around the corner. But at the moment, I'm really struggling. And the animals will do exactly like us as humans. If it's nice and cold, they will go into the nice sheltered area and hide away from the wind. So if the sun does come out, then they will be out walking around. At the moment while I'm driving along, I'm gonna take you across to Tristan. He's also searching.
Well, we also have had no luck either. I'm just following up on some of Franklin's that are going crazy in front here. It would make no sense if this is Thandi, because it means she's completely changed direction and traveled quickly north. But maybe with the noise of this kill, it could be somebody, it could be another leopard, it could be, this area could be Kalamba, it could be, we tracked that other male yesterday into this section. All right, yeah. So, with that noise of that kill, it could easily be another leopard that's around. It'll just give me a bit of a time to wait for Thandi to come through the block. There's no sign of her coming out yet. She might have laid down right where we lost her. It's very possible, but there's no ways we're going to even get a vehicle anywhere near where we lost her anyway, so might as well have come out. It's just getting my blood pressure too high being in that block. It's so incredibly frustrating to just keep hitting stumps, because you know that it's so damaging to the vehicle and really not something that you really want to be doing. So I hate when that's like that, where you just can't see and you keep, abusing the poor car. It's not nice at all. And also the bush itself, when this grass is that long, you can't see what you're driving over. You don't know if there's a little nest there or something that you've got to be careful of. And now at this time of the year, we shouldn't have to worry too much, because most of the nesting birds are done. But it's just difficult when it's like that. I'm trying to see if I can find these Franklins that are calling. It seems like they've stopped now. The kill is just behind us here, so it's not far. They've gone quiet now. There's a few birds that are shouting on my left-hand side. I'll just scratch and just see what I can find, and hopefully we either get Thandi or somebody in this area. In the meantime, let's send you back across to Trish, who's also bumbling.
I'm sure Tristan will. I'm sorry, you lost me briefly, but I'm back. But you didn't miss anything. I'll tell you that much. So we are moving to the south now. We're going to check out Twin Dams, see if there's anything happening on that side. Sibuyi was around that area last night. So maybe her cub, Shasha Langa, maybe they would be around there, or didn't move a lot, something like that. We'll just have to go down and check though. There's a fight going on in this tree, or at least there was. I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. I wonder if you can hear it. It's drongos. There was a 3 drongo fight. Oh no. Well, it's finished now. At least we have, oh, now it's happening behind us. Let's just watch this marula for a little bit. There's a green wood hoopoe in the tree. Well, there's a number of them, and there's some drongos as well. The drongos are fighting with each other, not the green wood hoopoe, but the wood hoopoe got it a little bit too. Well, there's a squirrel in the action as well. Everything's moving very fast. There they go. You'll often see drongos dive bombing each other and many other animals. They're big dive bombers. They can be quite aggressive. I don't think I ever thought I'd describe a bird as aggressive. But here, drongos are pretty aggressive. I can hear a black-headed oriole. JP in Pridelands thinks they're the honey badgers of the sky. Certainly. Very feisty. Well, now they've moved off. Oh, there's one. Have you claimed your territory now, Drongo? Are you proud of yourself? I can hear a woodpecker behind me. Tick, 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 tick. I'm just going to turn around, see if I can find this woodpecker. Voldy. Hi, Flover. You'd like to know if it's normal to have this kind of weather at this time of year? Yeah, it is. So we don't get, if you're talking about going from summer into winter, we don't really get cool days. Our version of cold. I'm just going to wait here because it sounded like the woodpecker was coming from this kind of area. So our version of cold in South Africa is like late teens. If you're from Durban like me, then it's early 20s, late teens is pretty cold. So this kind of temperature where we're still getting like 30-degree weather in the afternoons, even though it's autumn, that's normal. If you're talking about the windiness, that's also pretty normal. It's just a little bit early. So normally I'd expect wind in July or August, but then I'd expect quite harsh wind. So this wind here is pretty normal. What is abnormal is, for example, the rains we had, I think it was last week. We had some rain. Oh, I can hear the woodpecker further down. All right, let's drive and talk. The rains that we had last week, remember we had that storm? That's not really normal. And apparently there should be one tonight, rain or storm, something like that. But that's what my weather app says. So you know, my confidence in that app is diminished. So we'll just have to see. We'll believe it when we see it. Those kind of things, like the last storm, I thought, okay, maybe that's the last of the rainfall. But then another one, maybe that's a bit odd. But all of it is not that strange. Pretty normal, just a few fluctuations here and there. Okay, woodpecker, are you somewhere here? No, I can't hear it. He's not here. So I have a feeling that this wind and cooler temperature that I'm feeling at the moment, I can sort of feel a bit of a pressure change. You all are able to feel that too. You just may not know that what you're feeling is a result of a pressure change. But sometimes you can get a bit of a headache. You might feel a little bit unsettled, a little bit restless. That's how I feel when the pressure changes, and then once it passes or once the storm starts, then it feels fine again. But it's not a major feeling, not like man down. It's just I've noticed that. So that's what I'm kind of noticing at the moment. Perhaps the storm is starting to make its way in and dropping pressure, because storms come in low pressure systems. So let's see what happens. All right, wildebeest. We'll say hi to you now while we wait. See if I can hear my woodpecker again. Just enjoying some good patches of grass here. Quarantine has some really good patches of grass in certain areas. Hi, Mike. You'd like to know what's the best thing about being in the bush? For me, it's the possibility. You're giving yourself the opportunity to find anything, to come across anything. And that's what I like. That's why I don't mind if there's drives and I don't see anything, or I don't have great sightings. I really don't mind, because the thing is, I gave myself the opportunity to be out here where anything could happen. That's my favorite bit about being out and doing what we do. Is that it could be anything from a water stickney eating that blind snake, to hyenas eating that carcass while Tandy is up in a tree like Tristan has. I love that. Oh, I see a whole bunch of red-billed quailias have just landed on those two trees, and you're not even going to probably notice them until they all start to move. I love when one moves and then the others move. Or do we have sparrows here? They look like grey-headed sparrows. No, I love when they all move together. Very, very sweet. Definitely not to the same magnitude as when quailias are all moving together, and then you hear as they move from one tree to the other and get up and move around. We call those mimmations. Bird movements are just amazing. Really amazing. It's a similar thing when birds move together or in flocks. It's a similar thing to how antelopes have herds. In terms of wanting to keep somebody else between you and anything dangerous. Stacy, you'd like to know if I think that most of the herds have left? No, we don't get lots. Birds. There we go. Thank you. Because I was going to say we don't get much migration here anymore, at least. Historically, there used to be quite a lot. But you're talking about the birds, Stacey. Have most of the birds left? I think most of them have. I thought I saw a European bee-eater yesterday, but then on closer inspection I saw it was a little bee-eater. I think I might have just been hopeful. The woodland kingfisher that I saw like late last week, haven't seen it again. African cuckoo, haven't seen it again. Haven't seen a European roller in a long time, but that one I think I already knew had gone. But of those that were still lingering that I'd seen, the cuckoo, the kingfisher, and the bee-eater, I haven't seen them since. So I think that most of them have gone. How peaceful. With its goatee and his mane down his back blowing in the wind, and that beautiful tail. Gorgeous wildebeest. All right, let me send you over to Steve in Pridelands. I'm going to get moving towards Twin Dams.
Well, good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to Pridelands, where sadly for some reason we haven't been able to broadcast for the last little while, but we've come all the way back down towards Leopard Dam after our failed attempt to follow up on monkey alarm calls. We got all the way to the north, and it seems as if they were then further north shouting. So we came all the way back to where we had our first monkey alarm calling, which was just over here. We've had no tracks. We've had no sign of a predator, but it's been pretty still and pretty calm this morning. But the cloud cover that has pulled in and pulled over, apparently it has been raining in Johannesburg this morning, so the wind that was pulling in from the west or from the east yesterday pushed over towards the ocean and then pulled all this cloud cover in, and that has caused a little bit of rain elsewhere. But a few drops on our head not so long ago, but it was nothing really worth writing home about. But what a beautiful scene. A beautiful, beautiful sky. The sunrise this morning was incredible. Beautiful orangey blood red colour. Don't know how I can say orange and blood red at the same time, but Glenn, what colour was it? Orangey?
Reddish orangey.
Reddish orangey. So I'll just leave the word blood out of there. It was gorgeous with the moon as well last night, rising just before going to bed. Beautiful coloration. A lot of that to do with the atmospheric dust, cloud cover, and all around we hear impalas shouting. We were bouncing between a couple groups of impala males shouting this morning, hoping to maybe figure out if a predator was probably trying to stalk them or hunt them down, but we were unfortunate. We weren't able to locate anything. Graham, well, there's an eerily sort of quietness to the morning. It was quite warm last night and this morning, so I think it might have thrown a few animals off, but maybe a lot of the animals were active a bit earlier when it was cooler. I mean, I wasn't even wearing a jacket this morning, so this time of year, on my way through from Johannesburg 2 days ago, I bought some more gloves, some more warm gear, because anticipating quite a cold winter. Spent some time in Nelsvlei and it was very cold. So this little front has pulled in, and it definitely weather has an impact on animal behavior, animal movement. But sometimes it's all about luck as well. I'm interested in had some luck following up on hyenas and then finding the leopard. The birds are busy this morning. Babblers, impalas are incredibly busy. So I wouldn't say it's incredibly quiet. Obviously, you just have those days where you can drive and find not too much, and then you have those days where everything just sort of falls out of the trees.
When on safari, there's nothing better than an evening spent under the stars chatting around a fire, with the sounds of the wild all around you. If you sign up to be a Wild Earth Explorer, you can build your own memories by joining our guides for regular fireside chats. Subscription payments can be made by PayPal, credit card, and now bank transfer. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature.
Converging game path will invariably lead you to a water source, but treat all water as suspect. One of my favorite ways of purifying water is to filter out the particulates. And by just filtering it through your sock, you can clear out most of those. You can put water into a snail shell and you can boil it over a fire or using a chemical like chlorine or colloidal silver.
My name is Taylor McCurdy and I work for Eco Training. I love hearing from all of the viewers. However, I particularly enjoy those of you who have been watching for a few years. Your questions are just so advanced and they really get me thinking. If you'd like to ask a question on Wild Earth, you need to register on our website. Once you've done that, head to the live safari page and submit your questions below the live feed.
The croc is still holding another one there. It's holding from the hindquarters. I would really want. The wildebeest cross is trying. The croc is holding the tail. It's holding tight. Oh no. Goodness me. Lucky wildebeest. You have another day to live.
Expect the unexpected here on Wild Earth daily.
Africa is very special, and when you come down here, even when you're watching through our camera, the landscapes have changed from desert to bushveld to up in the Masai Mara where there's grassland. That means that the biodiversity changes as we move along Africa. And what I love most about connecting with you guys is the fact that I get to share these wonderful experiences with thousands of people.
Catch up with the guides daily here on Wild Earth.
Well, still no luck for us, I'm afraid. I can't find Tandy coming out of the block anywhere, so I think she must have laid down there and we just missed her, and I don't know. Happens. It's the way it goes. Also, I'm sorry that I was frustrated earlier. That block is a nightmare. Gives me the heebie-jeebies in there. I don't know why. It's just like it just feels like you just can't go. Leopard. There's another leopard there. Yeah, Fanitzi, make your way here. I've located my reaps. The stations have located my reaps on Mamba Road. He's just south in the block on a fallen tree. Tandy's son is lying, oh, he was lying on a tree. Is he still there? Yeah, he's still there. Fan, you copy that? I just passed Fanuti now. He was stopped, so I'm trying to get hold of him. Also, I don't know if you want to maybe try to get hold of Fan. Just let him know. Hello, boy. What you doing? Yeah, Fan, come, Mamba. I've got my reaps here on a fallen over tree. Hello, my boy. Aren't you on a and throne this morning?
If you copy me, maybe come to check here at Chita Cut Line in junction with Tswalu Port. There is the Mafazi and my daughter Ingwe. So it could be Tandy and Marips. The trucks are heading north. Maybe she left that young boy maybe somewhere very close to Redwood Puza Spot.
Yeah, Fan, I don't know if you can copy me. I have located Marips on Mamba Road, inside Torchwood, south of the road on a fallen over tree. Anyway, right. We'll let them sort themselves out. Isn't that, like I say, a grand throne for our young fella? Hello, boy. Your mom is not having a good morning. You seem to be far more relaxed about life. You can see he's got his fuller tummy than what mom has got, which is often the case when you find female leopards and their cubs. Mom often sacrifices a lot of her food for the cub. And because he's getting so big now and so strong, he's starting to push her off kills. Funnily enough, the other day I watched him actively prevent Tundi from coming to the kill. He would literally just push in his way and just say, nope, that's my kill, you can't have it, you're not allowed. So it's crazy that he's actually starting to get that way. I just want to try and position it a little bit differently because we can maybe get a slightly different view of him that will be better for the camera and we'll be able to see his kind of look a little bit better. I'm going to just try and come around. Nikanova, when do I think Tundi and Marips will split? I don't know. It's tricky to say. Not too long, I don't think. I think we'll find that they'll probably move within the next... well, he'll probably get pushed out maybe June, July, somewhere there. August, I don't know. It'll depend. He seems to be pretty independent and bumbles about and does his thing, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he leaves fairly early. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. She's still very much actively with him, and the bond is still very strong. So I expect that this will still be a while until these guys, well, until he's kind of pushed off and made to fend for himself. He is a magnificent cat, though, isn't he? Beautiful, beautiful boy. I mean, we've so spoilt at the moment with leopards. I mean, I don't know how we've managed to find as many as we have lately. It's been a huge amount of luck. That's for sure, and especially when they sit like this so beautifully out in a tree stump. Not always the easiest to spot them. I actually think this was not the worst spot, this particular one. But yeah, we've been lucky this morning, that's for sure. I just came on an off chance that maybe we would find him here because I know that the signal drops off quite quickly from this spot. But yeah, we got lucky and he kind of was here. Just goes to show sometimes it's just all about chance and looking at the right place at the right time. I was just waiting for this vehicle to figure out where they wanted to be. I'm going to go back actually a little bit further even. I want to kind of see him down the sort of trunk. He's about 13 months now, so he's roughly, I mean, we think he's around that age because remember when James found him, it was in April, and James reckoned he was about 6 weeks at that point, so yeah, about 13 months. That's what I reckon he is now. So roughly 13 and a half months. Now, Tundi has left her cubs before at 15 months, 14 months, 15 months, somewhere there. But generally around 16, 17 months. So that's why I say like June, July. Should be about a good age for him to be on his own. Isn't that magnificent though? It's kind of like everything that you would want from a leopard in a tree. But it begs the question then, if he's here and she was in Djuma, who's the track for that male and female? It makes no sense. I'll have to think about that. Kay, as you say, the size of his paws are massive. They are. It's crazy. I mean, he's got big paws. And if you actually put him in the tree like this, I know it's difficult because you're not in the same tree and it's not the same scale, but if you look at the bulk on his feet and his four limbs and his big paws and head, you can see just how much bulkier he is than Thandi already. She's a lot slimmer and more kind of narrower, much leaner kind of build than what he is. He's a large cat now. And he's going to be a beautiful leopard when he grows. He's going to have a tough time though. It's not going to be easy for him. There's a lot of competition in this area these days, and I think his biggest competition, his biggest problem is going to be Shasha and Kuchava's cub, because they're really bigger than he is. But they will be at the age soon where they're going to distribute and might give him a bit of a tough time. Mulawati will be fine, and we're pretty sure Mulawati is his father, so you shouldn't have to worry about Mulawati for another year at least. But Nhlangula is pushing south, Tortoise Pan, Tavanguni, a lot of leopards that these young boys need to be very careful of. Don't look at me like that, like I brought them here. I didn't bring them here. I don't know how long he'll be on this tree for. I suspect that he might come down at some point. Amazes me. You can go days where you track and you look and you search and you go high and low and you don't find these cats at all. And it just feels like it's the other one, and there he is as well. If only every day was as easy as this. Although I don't think that would be the best thing. I actually quite like that some days are an absolute challenge and difficult. It really makes, when you find them like this and when you see them as much as we've seen them, that much better. You feel like you achieve something when you find them after a couple of days of hard work. When it's just easy and, you kind of... Oh, he is beautiful. Isn't this ridiculous? He's watching dwarf mongoose. Why would you stop behind the branch? Let me just go forward for you a little bit. Let's try and get that branch off. And like I say, it is the most perfect throne that he's got at the moment. I wonder if it's not going to be worth just going around. Just one more. Let's go around quickly and just see if we can get him a little bit more front on. Sorry guys, we're just going to go try and see if I can get a better view. See, this is when it's nice. Look at how the buffalo have cleaned this out. Beautiful, open, easy. My kind of off-roading. That other stuff is too hectic for one soul. Right, let's try and see. Right, if we get in here, it might be very, very pretty with him kind of on the log looking this way. All right. Well, while we kind of figure out whether this is the best spot or not, let's send you across to Pinda. They've got cats stalking.
Wow, we have finally found a lioness. That's really amazing. Have a look how she's looking. She's busy watching the impalas. She was stalking the impalas earlier on. You can just see the impalas are busy running away. So they have spotted her. Off they go. Wow. There is a good timing to be able to find them, to find this lioness a while she was stalking the impalas. It was really amazing. But she still are sitting up and watching them. I'm not too sure yet how many lions are around here. But because we're going to spend time around here and assess how many lions. But in this pride, if they're all together, there's 2 lionesses, 3 older male cubs, and 2 set of 2 are younger cubs. But for now, we can only see 1 lioness. Wow, she's so pretty. So the direction where she's looking right now, there were some zebras earlier on. Although with impalas running away, shouting, the zebra will be alert as well. It might happen that Carla, yes it does, and because it's a lot cooler, so they're quite active, but with the wind, if she want to attempt the hunt, she have to approach the prey species downwind, because it might happen. And also the wind is swelling a lot, which means she has to stalk right up close and start chasing, because it might happen that the wind does change a lot. It might happen that the wind will blow and her scent into the prey species that she's stalking. But with this kind of weather, and have a look, she looks very, very alert. There's more impalas shouting at the distance. I doubt those impalas that are shouting at the distance, they spotted her. It might happen that they spotted the other members of the pride. So with them scattered around, so the chances of making a kill are quite higher, because it might happen that the prey species they will chase it to the other lioness, and it's when if we're in the right spot to see some action. Have a look how she's got her head locked. You're definitely right, horse lover. She had the head locked onto one direction, although now she's looking around. But in front of her, where she was watching earlier on, there was nothing. It might happen that she want impalas to get a little bit further away, then she start walking, because she knows that if she start walking now, all other prey species in the area they will be alert, and her chances of making a kill will be much slimmer. Oh wow, Anne-Marie, she's one of that's amazing. Anne-Marie, you know each and every pride. So she's one of the a Bayala lioness. Like, she's got very pretty face. And she's got much thicker neck. Look at her, she just closed her eyes, although she is listening what's happening around her. At a distance, you can still hear the impalas shouting. Now she's watching. She's looking straight onto our direction. At the meantime, while we staying with these lions, we're going to take you across to Praatlands.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, when you were last with us, we were standing right there. So, a very good indication of elephants' relaxed or upset behavior. They would know we were there. They would smell. We were standing right there, 10 minutes ago? And if they were not happy with the smell of people, they would have moved from that area and drunk somewhere else. Our residual smell can stay for quite some time in one place. Obviously, we can't smell. We can just pick up on the tracks of ourselves. But animals out here have got an incredible sense of smell. And here we have another wonderful group of elephants having a drink. Once again, conditions are perfect. We're on the opposite side of the water. The wind is blowing across them, sort of towards the right. Plenty of shade on this side. As soon as you left us last time, the sun peeked its head out from behind the clouds, and that was probably the call. Elephants obviously decided that was the time to drink. Every one of these sightings are incredible on foot. I mean, elephants in a car are a magical experience, but to be, per se, out of your comfort zone. Yeah, they're having a big chat with each other now. Being on foot with these gentle giants, everyone, is life-changing. Life-changing. Look at that littlest one. So we had some relatively fresh dung there. It was probably from earlier this morning. But we hadn't seen or heard an elephant this morning. But here they slowly come out of the thickets to drink. Okay, well, we're going to stay right here while we send you over to Busani and his lions.
Wow, we're still sitting with these lions, and the impalas have stopped shouting. And the big lioness, she has spotted the male impala. She's busy at the moment of following the male impala. So I'm gonna reposition a little bit so that we don't lose the sight of this female. But she looks very interested on those impalas. Although the impalas are getting away from her, there she is. So she's still watching them. There was one impala that went away from the group, and the male was busy chasing the female. Now he's gone back to the head. So because in the head of those impalas there's a lot of them, and for her to get right up close to them and not being seen, the chances are very slim. The impalas, they do look very alert. So now she's interested on a different head of impalas. So the first group of impala that was close to her, they have moved away. But she also interested on something that's very far away. But then she doesn't want to walk because it's nice and open to walk and stalk whatever she wants to go to. Because those impalas will then see her and snort. I think for now, because she has find a nice comfortable spot, although she does look awake, we're gonna stick with them and see what they're gonna do.
The Endangered Wildlife Trust fights at the forefront of conservation, across the vast Karoo and sweeping grasslands, in remote pockets of forest, along road networks, across African skies, and in communities to conserve our wildlife and wild spaces. Help us to protect forever, together. Donate now at ewt.org.za.
Riverbeds are a great way to find water and look for places where elephant have excavated hollows. You can then dig into the sand, and after a couple of feet you should find damp sand, which then can be squeezed out or siphoned off for water. And with water being one of our scarcest resources, it is a good idea to conserve water where and how you can.
My name is Lauren, and I'm currently working in Djuma Private Game Reserve here in South Africa. I love answering your questions during the live safaris. It's my favorite part. It feels like you're on the vehicle with me, and I'm able to teach you exactly what you want to know. If you want to ask a question on Wild Earth, then you need to register on our website. Once registered, you must go to the live safari page and ask your question below the live feed.
Hello, Mama. Just checking us out, everybody. There's no aggression here. Very relaxed. A herd of elephants moving around your car like that is truly, truly magical.
Tune into Wild Earth every single day. It's in your nature.
What makes Anbion-Pinde Private Game Reserve so special is our massive array of habitats. And with that comes, of course, a beautiful diversity of landscapes, but also an incredible biodiversity in terms of plants, bird life and animal life, as well as, of course, our conservation success stories with cheetah, with rhinos, now with pangolins too.
Catch up with the guides daily here on Wild Earth.
Wow. There's some interaction that's happening at the moment with the two Saberat male and the baby rhino. So they're so interested on the baby rhino at the moment. One of the male, it was so close to that baby rhino, while the mom, it was facing away. She was facing away. But then the mom will be very protective against that little one. She will keep chasing away this Saberat male. She's still grazing along not too far away from these two Saberat males. Look at how now the little baby rhino, it's just behind mom, taking a cover. Wow. Wow. This is really amazing. There's one young male that's still very interested. Just lie down again. But he's still keeping an eye onto the rhino. But then the fully grown rhino, she's like keeping an eye onto them as well, making sure that they don't come so close to the baby. But look at the size of the eyes of the rhino. It's so small compared to the rest of the body. Can you see some raindrops as well onto her? It's starting to rain at the moment. And with that size of the eyes, she didn't see the lions up until she was right close to the lions. And the lions went straight for the little one. But then with mom, she turned around quickly and chased them away. So now the little baby, it's leading the mom away from the lions. It seems like the lions have lost interest on that baby rhino. So that baby rhino, it is quite vulnerable to the lions. But because these two Saberat are still very young and they don't have an experience to hunt. It has happened here before whereby we lost, I think, 2 rhinos against lions. But it was more teenager rhino, which it was a little bit bigger. At the moment, we're going to take you across to trees. He's got also a very big animal.
We have a beautiful elephant roadblock here in the Milwaukee. This bull is giving us a great show. Hasn't been displaying to us anything like that, just looking at us, gave us a bit of a hello, at least that's what I like to think. Pleasantly eating. Now moving off to the rest of the group. He's been having a great time here, just taking everything and anything he can. A bit of grass, a bit of leadwood, a bit of that senna species. Just a whole lot, everything. A bit of sage, everything was just pulled in like a nice, great, big mixed salad. Looks like he's having an absolute feast. Down in the drainage is where some of the best vegetation can be found, and elephants know that. Apart from that, it's also where some nice fresh water can be found if they dig. So it's a good morning out to be spent if you spend it here in the Mowati. I'm sure you can see the other two in the background there. Everyone's having a very good time out in the Mowati. Not much shouting or irritation, anything like that, even though there's quite a few youngsters around. It feels like a great day out for this herd. You can hear the big ears flap and hit the body. Oh, I love when they do that. They scratch their ear. I also like when they scratch their eye. It looks like they've just woken up in the morning. Like when we rub our eyes and like with your fist. That's what it looks like. They make a fist almost with the end of their trunk and rub their eye. It's very sweet. I'm often asked how large these ears are, and we've thought about it, and the one time a young girl asked about it, and I described it as 1/6 of the body. So if you took the ear size, you could put 6 of them on one side of the body. That's a cool way to describe it to a child, but just to describe it to general audience, it's about 20% of the total surface area of the body, so that's quite a lot. It's really, oh, there we go, the eye. LP, you'd like to know how many muscles are there in the trunk of an elephant? It's described as between 50,000 and 150,000. And that has a lot to do with the definition of the muscle. So muscles that run like across the trunk and down the trunk sometimes can be counted as each individual muscle, because even if the muscles are running longitudinally or transversely or whatever, they're still broken up into different parts. But sometimes just that one part can be counted as one muscle, where ordinarily or more technically that one part can actually be counted as 3 muscles. So that's where the discrepancy is. So it's a definition thing, but usually it's described as 50,000 to 150,000 different muscles. Because there's flexion and extension, like a telescopically, and then there's also the great movement and dexterity, right, left, across, up, down, of the actual trunk, actual movement. But, oh, lovely. You can eat, drink, and do everything else all in one. And that is one of the many pleasures of being an elephant. Dig for fresh water, too. Yes. No wasting time by doing these things separately. What's the point? There, see? He's digging. He's going to try and find some water. Nope, not good enough. Maybe you need to dig a little further. Just tossing some mud now. Hi, Tori. You'd like to know how much a baby elephant could weigh when it's born? Obviously, there's some difference. Not every baby elephant weighs the same, but it's about 100 to 120 kgs when it's born. So that's a big baby. That's a huge baby. There can be some that are born very small. When I mean very small, I mean like 80 to 100 kgs, but 100 to 120 is the average weight of a elephant at birth. Let's move forward a little bit because I want to see he's digging again. He's going to be looking for water. He's pretty comfortable with us. I'll just stop here. Little golden orb web spider next to me. Hello, you. We're looking at the elephants for now, though, Spidey. So let's just watch his trunk. First, he'll dig with his foot as he had, and then he'll use his trunk to kind of move around. There, he's got some water. If you look very carefully, you can see the water dripping from his trunk. Tossing out some sand again. Look at how careful he is. He's digging in and clearing out that sand. Maybe that one was a bit more violent than the other cleaning that he was doing. But he's slowly pulling the sediment out of that water, hoping that he'll take enough out that there'll actually be some good amount of water that is drinkable. Just awesome. Well, I'm going to send you back to Tristan. I hope he's managed to catch up with the Mareeps. I'm going to stick here with these Ellies.
Well, we did have a view of Mareeps, but he obviously to us moved. Now he's on the move, slowly heading kind of towards Djuma. Just going to try and get ahead of him again and see if we can pick him up. We're not far actually from the boundary now. He's just slowly plugging his way south and kind of west towards the cut line. I'm hoping he's going to go into one of these trees for a bit of shade. It's gotten beastly warm all of a sudden. I don't know if this is the calm before the storm, because generally if it starts raining at Phinda and it's raining in Johannesburg, we start to get it after that. And so I wonder if maybe, just maybe, like I say, this is the heat before that rainy weather comes our way. Let's see if he pops up into this marula. If he does, it will be an absolute treat. No, we need to sit right there. I mean, it's not like we can complain. He's already... He's complaining at a bird. Let me go forward a little bit for you. The birds are shouting at him, so he's just growling at them.
Mamba Road, just the southern side of Mamba Road on Chitakat line. I'm slowly leaving the sighting, so you somewhere on Chitakat line, in junction with Mamba Road.
Do you not like the birds shouting at you, boy? But that's what happens if you walk around, is that they do shout at you because they're scared of you. Come on. He's going to have to find some shade at some point because he's, like I say, gotten hot. Where he was lying earlier on that stump was beautiful while there was some cloud, but I think as soon as it starts to get warm, just trying to find some semblance of shade. You can hear the birds. I'm going to keep quiet now. You probably hear a vehicle, but you can probably also hear a lot of birds calling. He's growling and you see how his tail's up. So the tail is just telling everybody, stop shouting at me, leave me alone. Let's see if he pops up this tree. He's going to look up the tree, see if there's anything in it. He's done it at every single tree. He kind of just stops and then he looks up. There we go. You see? Just to check. Make sure there's nothing potentially lurking. Shame, my boy, are you getting upset with all the birds shouting at you? Alright, well, we'll keep up with him and see where he goes in the meantime. Let's send you across to Steve.
Yeah, well, if you want to be a male leopard, or leopard for that matter, you're going to get shouted at by birds. Well, we found more elephants this time, not far from where we were sitting. We moved away to go and carry on. We had a giant eagle owl that flew out of the tree from us earlier. We were trying to relocate. We saw some elephants coming from the opposite side of the dam, so we moved this time onto the dam wall. They definitely could smell us because the wind was pushing directly towards them. So these two young bulls, but I'm almost certain I saw a female. Just had a quick cursory scan with the binoculars in the thickets. Saw some elephants, saw what I thought was a female, and we moved around, anticipating them coming down to drink. And now we're in another position. But when I say that they definitely smelt us, it's because the wind was blowing across the dam, over our bodies and towards them. And once again, it didn't react. All they did was slow down. Yeah, the breeding herd is now coming from the back of the first elephant. You'll see them shortly. So elephants do one of three things if they smell you. They either react and trumpet and make a noise, or they don't do anything, they continue on doing what they were doing. Or the third thing is they take a ticket and they wait a moment, which is what these fellows did. They just waited, anticipated that we'd moved off, and now they've come down to drink. How blessed are we? Peter, I don't know how fast they grow. Probably a couple inches a year. No, an inch a year. I don't know. I'm sure there's some math behind it. But there's no hard and fast rule, I suppose, because you get genetically some elephants have bigger tusks than others and they must grow faster than others. So I don't know what the actual mathematical equation is. For example, Izulweni, big tusker, find another bull of the same age, doesn't have the same length of tusks. His tusk length is obviously much shorter, growing potential shorter. I really don't know. What I can tell you is that they're constantly growing. You see the little family unit drinking always close together, and then the bulls on the outskirts. Not welcome to be too close. And where those bulls are on the right is exactly where we were sitting for our last segment. I was sitting right there. So they're not concerned, not bothered by our presence at all, which is so amazing that we're able to share these places with these animals. And this is what being on foot is all about. What we train guides to do is to be able to see these animals on foot without them reacting, without them changing their behavior, and without them being negatively impacted in any way. That is sort of the rule. That's what you aim for. Alison, what a beautiful scene. I can't agree with you more. We might just hang around Leopard Dam for the next 12 days. That's where all the action seems to be, and we've got very good signal. Found some, not very fresh, but some lion scat also. Just before we saw the elephants, actually. I was busy looking at the elephant scat, and we were actually going to frame up and show it to you when I spotted the ellies. Okay, now that one has picked up on something. The tail is stiff. Whole herd is reacting to it now. The wind hasn't changed, it's still blowing across us. We're standing in defensive formation. Maybe they heard me say lion and they reacted. Anyway, we're going to stay here with the elephants a moment longer while we send you over to Trish, who's enjoying an elephant morning herself.
Well, this is the best view we've got of our elephants at the moment. We've had to come out of the Mulwati and onto the top, onto Twin Dams Road. Just getting a bit tight in the Mulwati, and they were moving up. But they moved quite quickly, so now they're into a block west of where we saw them, and this is the last one that we see here. Still chomping away on this great vegetation in and around the drainage. There's such a diversity of trees around drainages that it can make for a great herbivorous salad. But a lot of the time what grows or what can grow in and around drainages are not their first preference, but like bigger things, like the magic guari. Lots of magic guari around sodic areas just before drainage lines. They won't eat too much of that, but they go after very specific trees when they're in there. Jackalberry, the usual combretums that they love, but there are not too many of them in the drainage. But lots of smaller herby-like plants that they like to go for in there that doesn't grow further up on crests. Now are you going to turn up and come towards us? I've always learned that patience pays off with them every single time. So just sitting and waiting is always very, very valuable instead of moving all the time. If they, I mean, you can obviously move a lot if they're comfortable with you. And we've been sitting there with them for a while, but this is not a mature animal. This is still a youngster. So I'm going to give it some time. There we go. Now a little taste of some knobthorn. It even tasted some of the bushveld saffron. Even tried a bit of that. You guys say they're really relaxed around me. It's always a two-way street. If you're relaxed, they're relaxed. If you give them space, then they feel very, very comfortable. And then you're just two animals existing in the same space. And this isn't always like this, but you got to work to get it like this. It's one of my favorite things to do out here, is to just sit and wait with them and watch them. Spend a lot of time just watching them, even, when we're not live. During segments, I'll just be sitting and watching them. See what they're doing, talk to them. I know that they don't understand me, but just the sound of your voice, my voice, lets them know that I'm not a predator. Otherwise, if I was a predator, if I was going to hurt them, I'd be trying to hide. Yet I'm so openly making sounds. And then the longer they spend with me, the more they realize, oh, okay, she's harmless. This little one is quite relaxed. Oh, look at that tongue. So pink. Hi there, little one. I know you're not that little, but you're still very cute. Okay, I'm going to send you over to Steve and his elephants. I'm going to watch this little one for a bit longer.
Well, welcome back. I think there must have been a slight shift in the wind just before, caused elephants to react. There's nothing you can do about shifts in wind. Cause elephants to sort of react and move around, and now all of them are there where we were sitting the first time. It was interesting, I was watching a young bull busy sniffing the stick I was holding on to when I was sitting earlier. Busy sniffing it and smelling where we'd been sitting and standing. Wonder what they're thinking when they pick up on those smells. They pick up on the residual smell on the ground, which they react quite differently to when they pick up on your actual smell. I think this is the same group we actually had drinking last night. A very small little baby in amongst them. Bacchuses, with all elephants, they're different sizes, but a big male elephant needs about 350 kilograms of wet food a day, 700 pounds of food a day, So obviously, the smaller they are, the less they need. But 350 kilograms of food is a lot of food. That's the constant eating. Big female like this on the left is probably about, I don't know, it's hard for me to say, but maybe 200 kilograms. And as they get smaller, they need less, although they're still constantly eating. Constantly eating. Constantly eating and constantly pooing. They are thinking again. Well, I suppose the inner ear is inside the ear, isn't it? We've got the whole lobe, which is mainly designed for cooling. A huge African-shaped style lobe of the elephant ear is mainly for cooling themselves. And then behind the eye, you've got that little hairy patch with a hole. And that is where the outer ear is. And then the inner ear is inside, so I don't know exactly how to answer that question. Little youngsters having a drink. That's what they're waiting for. I was wondering, they were just standing there, and then the big brother is resting on his sibling. You can see that's a family unit. It's a mama on the left with her oldest son on the far right. The second oldest son with its trunk in the water. A little one at the back, I don't know what sex it is, but then this little one is a boy as well. So she seems to be a producer of boys. Very patient. Is very cute, eh? Now we often talk about, she knows the youngster's finished now, and now they're going to walk off. We often talk about elephant behavior and their sort of how they are interacting. If you find the youngsters in the open, you find the youngster drinking like that, you find them drinking, dust bathing, eating, and everything's good. Life is all in order. And just like that, herd of elephants disappear into the thickets.
Nestled on the banks of one of the largest lakes in the Sabi Sands lies an award-winning game lodge called Tswalu. Many of you will have been on safari here virtually with Wild Earth, but now we are offering you the chance to see it for yourself in person. Sign up to be a Wild Earth explorer before the end of April, and you and a friend could win 3 nights to this luxury lodge. In addition to the unforgettable safaris, you can unwind on the deck, relax in the pool, and even savor the various bush dining experiences. Tswalu's holistic approach to hospitality, with specific emphasis on conservation, will leave you with the very best memories of the African wild. Wild Earth Explorers, it's in your nature. The Mara Triangle is a jewel in the Kenyan conservation crown, and thanks to the dedication of the Mara Conservancy, it thrives as one of Earth's greatest national treasures.
We have been experiencing a reduction in the whale snails that we collect on a monthly basis, and this is basically attributed to our intense patrols.
Over the years, this courageous team of anti-poachers has reduced poaching to almost zero.
Mimi naitwa Stephen Olereso. Nimefanya kazi miaka 16 sasa, kuanzia mwaka 2002. Hao wanadamu ni wenye utua sana sana inaogofya ni wale wenye wanaenda kama ndovu. Wanatumia kama bunduki. Sasa hiyo ndio huwa inakuanga hatari sana sana kwa sisi.
As a result of the global pandemic and the massive reduction in tourist revenue, the Mara Triangle is facing a financial crisis. They need your help if they are to continue their ability to protect this magical land.
It's a huge privilege to be in these incredible places with these amazing animals. I love filming lions. When they do get up and do something, it's always spectacular. When they are playing, are incredibly fun to watch, especially subalterns and cubs. I love being in the bush and working in these incredible places with these amazing animals. We want to bring it to you so that you can almost feel like you're right there and be able to experience it and enjoy it the way.
Our elephants are moving further and further into the block with this big whooping bourbon. See that big tree up there? You can see the elephant walking away too. Man, I was so hoping they'd still be around for our last few minutes of the show. Let's just see if there's any more that are still left behind us. That male was just, we had the coolest experience just before you came to us, where he came to the front of the vehicle very, very calmly. Just having a look, okay? Came to the front of the vehicle very calmly, stopped, then tried to touch, almost touch, and then didn't, and then extended his trunk over to look at Gert and I like this. And then he took his trunk back, and then he walked off. It was very, very, very cool. But now I don't see them. Oh, they're far into the block. Let's see, we can just get a view. All the way there, you might just see some trees shaking. You can see some gray big boulder-like things. That's the elephants, everyone. If I wait, let me move forward a little bit. You might be able. Nope, they've moved. They've moved further into the block, but that's okay. Hopefully this afternoon we'll be able to find more of them. Matt, you are so right. You say it's amazing how such huge animals can just disappear. They certainly can, and that gray color does wonders for them in that regard, because they can just disappear, and also they walk so silently because they have cushioning on their feet, so that they walk really, really quietly. The only sound that you hear is them rustling the bushes. There we go. Last a bit of Ellie butt, and off it goes. But they certainly can move very quickly out and away from you. But what is nice is somehow your eyes, like if you spot one elephant, and you think there's just one around, you just have to stop and look closely, and then suddenly they start emerging, their shapes start emerging, because your eyes have now, locked onto this, you're looking for a gray thing, and it's seen one already. So all of a sudden, your eyes get accustomed to it, and they start popping out everywhere, and they're everywhere. It's the same when they disappear. One disappears, and all of a sudden, they're all gone. But they're amazing. I certainly love spending time with them, and that little experience we had with this male was just so amazing. He really had his trunk so wanting to come to us, but so calm too. Anyway, guys, it's really, really hot and heating up now. We hope that the cloud cover will not get heavier this afternoon and we don't have a big storm, but we might. Either way, though, thank you all for your questions and your comments. We'll see you this afternoon for Sunset Safari. Bye-bye for now, everyone.